within the site context. Next, detailed building design is performed in Revit. The format mass is used to locate architectural elements. Dynamo is used to study alternative roof concepts through computational design. Structural and MEP engineers create models for engineering design, analysis, detailing, and documentation. The design disciplines link their Revit models to ensure the building design remains coordinated throughout the process. As the building design comes together, civil engineers develop the detailed site design in Civil 3D, including parking lot layout, grading, and drainage networks. Using vehicle tracking, even vehicle movement can be simulated and analyzed. Then in InfraWorks, a compelling visual is generated to improve understanding of the design. The next phase of the project is the design of a hospital. As before, the project moves from concept to completion with Format Pro and Revit, starting with architectural elements. Structural and MEP engineering disciplines join the project to create a highly detailed, coordinated building design. During pre-construction, design teams and contractors can perform 3D clash detection on the building and site models in Navisworks. Together, the team can identify interferences between steel framing and mechanical ducts in the building, as well as between site utility networks in the infrastructure design, enabling resolution of any issues between design intent, constructability, and fabrication before construction even begins. Finally, the team can also conduct 4D simulations to understand project phasing and construction sequencing, taking the project one step closer to the field. The Autodesk AEC Collection gives every designer, engineer, and contractor the tools and integrated workflows they need to deliver building and infrastructure projects with confidence. Every AEC project begins with an idea and a multidisciplinary team working with a collection of tools to bring that idea to life. Civil engineers start by developing an existing conditions model in InfraWorks. Point cloud data from recap and GIS content, such as sewer and flood information, are added to enrich the model and enable the conceptual design of road and site layouts in the project's real-world context. Switching to building design, a concept is sketched for a health clinic in the site context using Format Pro. The massing is refined, details and materials are added. The impact of sun and shadows is studied, and solar analysis is performed. Insight is used to conduct whole building energy analysis and optimization. Back in InfraWorks, the conceptual models are evaluated within the site context. Next, detailed building design is performed in Revit. The format mass is used to locate architectural elements. Dynamo is used to study alternative roof concepts through computational design. Structural and MEP engineers create models for engineering design, analysis, detailing, and documentation. The design disciplines link their Revit models to ensure the building design remains coordinated throughout the process. As the building design comes together, civil engineers develop the detailed site design in Civil 3D, including parking lot layout, grading, and drainage networks. Using vehicle tracking, even vehicle movement can be simulated and analyzed. Then in InfraWorks, a compelling visual is generated to improve understanding of the design. The next phase of the project is the design of a hospital. As before, the project moves from concept to completion with Format Pro and Revit, starting with architectural elements. Structural and MEP engineering disciplines join the project to create a highly detailed, coordinated building design. During pre-construction, design teams and contractors can perform 3D clash detection on the building and site models in Navisworks. Together, the team can identify interferences between steel framing and mechanical ducts in the building, as well as between site utility networks in the infrastructure design, enabling resolution of any issues between design intent, constructability, and fabrication before construction even begins. Finally, the team can also conduct 4D simulations to understand project phasing and construction sequencing, taking the project one step closer to the field. The Autodesk AEC Collection gives every designer, engineer, and contractor the tools and integrated workflows they need to deliver building and infrastructure projects with confidence. Every AEC project begins with an idea and a multidisciplinary team working with a collection of tools to bring that idea to life. Civil engineers start by developing an existing conditions model in InfraWorks. Point cloud data from recap and GIS content, such as sewer and flood information, are added to enrich the model and enable the conceptual design of road and site layouts in the project's real-world context. Switching to building design, a concept is sketched for a health clinic in the site context using Format Pro. The massing is refined, details and materials are added. The impact of sun and shadows is studied, and solar analysis is performed. Insight is used to conduct whole building energy analysis and optimization. Back in InfraWorks, the conceptual models are evaluated within the site context. Next, detailed building design is performed in Revit. The format mass is used to locate architectural elements. Dynamo is used to study alternative roof concepts through computational design. Structural and MEP engineers create models for engineering design, analysis, detailing, and documentation. The design disciplines link their Revit models to ensure the building design remains coordinated throughout the process. As the building design comes together, civil engineers develop the detailed site design in Civil 3D, including parking lot layout, grading, and drainage networks. Using vehicle tracking, even vehicle movement can be simulated and analyzed. Then in InfraWorks, a compelling visual is generated to improve understanding of the design. The next phase of the project is the design of a hospital. As before, the project moves from concept to completion with Format Pro and Revit, starting with architectural elements. Structural and MEP engineering disciplines join the project to create a highly detailed, coordinated building design. During pre-construction, design teams and contractors can perform 3D clash detection on the building and site models in Navisworks. Together, the team can identify interferences between steel framing and mechanical ducts in the building, as well as between site utility networks in the infrastructure design, enabling resolution of any issues between design intent, constructability, and fabrication before construction even begins. Finally, the team can also conduct 4D simulations to understand project phasing and construction sequencing, taking the project one step closer to the field. The Autodesk AEC Collection gives every designer, engineer, and contractor the tools and integrated workflows they need to deliver building and infrastructure projects with confidence. Every AEC project begins with an idea and a multidisciplinary team working with a collection of tools to bring that idea to life. Civil engineers start by developing an existing conditions model in InfraWorks. Point cloud data from recap and GIS content, such as sewer and flood information, are added to enrich the model and enable the conceptual design of road and site layouts in the project's real-world context. Switching to building design, a concept is sketched for a health clinic in the site context using Format Pro. The massing is refined, details and materials are added. The impact of sun and shadows is studied, and solar analysis is performed. Insight is used to conduct whole building energy analysis and optimization. Back in InfraWorks, the conceptual models are evaluated within the site context. Next, detailed building design is performed in Revit. The format mass is used to locate architectural elements. Dynamo is used to study alternative roof concepts through computational design. Structural and MEP engineers create models for engineering design, analysis, detailing, and documentation. The design disciplines link their Revit models to ensure the building design remains coordinated throughout the process. As the building design comes together, civil engineers develop the detailed site design in Civil 3D, including parking lot layout, grading, and drainage networks. Using vehicle tracking, even vehicle movement can be simulated and analyzed. Then in InfraWorks, a compelling visual is generated to improve understanding of the design. The next phase of the project is the design of a hospital. As before, the project moves from concept to completion with Format Pro and Revit, starting with architectural elements. Structural and MEP engineering disciplines join the project to create a highly detailed, coordinated building design. During pre-construction, design teams and contractors can perform 3D clash detection on the building and site models in Navisworks. Together, the team can identify interferences between steel framing and mechanical ducts in the building, as well as between site utility networks in the infrastructure design, enabling resolution of any issues between design intent, constructability, and fabrication before construction even begins. Finally, the team can also conduct 4D simulations to understand project phasing and construction sequencing, taking the project one step closer to the field. The Autodesk AEC Collection gives every designer, engineer, and contractor the tools and integrated workflows they need to deliver building and infrastructure projects with confidence.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you please raise your hand icon? Okay, great. So first of all, thank you for joining our webinar today, and I'll be your host for this webinar. My name is MJ Catriz, and I'm the Senior Marketing Officer in CIM Technologies. So this webinar is the fourth episode on sustainability, getting used to the new normal series to help AEC companies to move forward through design and innovation technology by learning how it works and how you can benefit from it. So let me share with you our agenda for this afternoon. Okay, so for this afternoon, I will introduce to you our company prior proceeding to the main topic, which is adapting to the new normal with BIM Collaboration, and Autodesk AEC Collection. During the presentation, please feel free to leave your questions at the chat box, as we will address those during the open forum with the speaker. Then, before we wrap up, we will be giving you a quick survey questions. A digital certificate of attendance is automatically generated and will be issued to those who will participate in the survey. So, before I proceed with the main topic, let me introduce to you first our company. CIM Technologies has been providing technology solutions from software to hardware for 30 years already. More than that, we are also offering training, technical support, and other expanded services for the AEC and manufacturing industries. These are the solutions we are offering for 3D: conceptual design, detailed design for architectural, MEP, and structural. We also have clash analysis, animations, and photorealistic renderings or visualization, quantity takeoff, construction documents, energy model analysis, and collaboration among project teams. So if you have or if you are interested in any of this, feel free to message us so we can set an appointment for a free demo. We also have project management or scheduling for 4D, cost planning and estimates for 5D, building performance analysis for 6D, and facility management for 7D. In case you know someone or you have requirements for manufacturing solutions, these are the solutions and services that we can also offer for you. We are also offering trusted work large format printers and plotters powered by HP, as well as industry leading fixed and mobile workstation by Dell. If you want to set an appointment for a virtual demo in HP large format printers, you may also send a message in the chat box. So in case you have problems with your maintenance side, we can also offer you our IT services, such as maintenance agreement and preventive maintenance for HP plotters or printers, diagnosis and repair, network design layout, network cabling, network configurations, and system or network administration services. We also have our service division, Alteon 3D, to provide you our expanded services such as 2D drafting, large format scanning, printing, and plotting, 3D BIM services, prototyping, product design, and many more. Please visit www.alteon3d.com to see other services. And we have our training division, which is the Stanford IT Learning to provide you basic to advanced training and education in the field of AEC, manufacturing, and utilities industries. The good news is that our trainings are now available online, and you can pay through the website as well. So if you want to learn about any of these tools and the best practices or latest trends in related to your job role, you can learn it from Stanford. So there you go. We are humbly presenting to you our partners in providing you the cutting edge solutions and services for your company. Feel free to contact us Should you have requirements that you think we can provide for you? Once again, for the benefit of those who just arrived in the session, you may ask questions by typing it in the chat box, and we will address it during the open forum. Okay, so next, let me introduce to you our main speaker for this session. He is our Senior Applications Engineer in CIM Technologies. So please let me turn over this screen to Engineer Kevin Yalom. Engineer Kevin?
Hi, good afternoon. You hear me? Okay, so to start, I welcome you to this session, which is the adapting to the new normal with BIM collaboration and Autodesk AEC Collection. Okay, to start, um, let me give you a quick video on what are the trends and challenges that we are facing before this pandemic. By 20 50, the United Nations predicts the number of people on our planet will grow from roughly 7.5 billion today to nearly 10 billion. The move to urban areas over the next few decades will impact how people live as well as the number of homes needed, and includes smart city planning, advanced technology, and a commitment to do things sustainably to accommodate our growing, increasingly urban population while preserving precious resources. Together, we can do more better with less negative impact on the planet. So today we have a global population of 7.5 billion, with 3.5 billion of us living in the cities. Okay, so over the next 30 years, by 2050, nearly 10 billion people will live on the planet. So two-thirds of those will live in cities. So all of these people need communication and transportation. So they need houses, bridges, roads, and access to water and power. So with so many people living in cities, we're going to need to make them smarter and more responsive to the needs of their residents, of course. So the AEC industry owns much of the responsibility for building out the commercial, residential, social, and economic spaces for the global population. So this is um, nearly or really good news for all of us, especially for the owners and developers. So we're going to have a lot of work to do for this to work. So how will our industry meet this growing demand? So with fewer people to do the work and finite natural resources in a way that generates less waste and has less negative impact and leads to sustainable communities. So how will we adopt better practices that are more efficient and more productive when our industry has historically been cited as one of the least productive? So these are the challenges from here up to the year 2050. So we have to compensate, or we have to give those demands um, to the growing population demand. Okay, so in these times we are now facing the um, COVID-19 pandemic, which is a huge, or it caused a major disruption around the world. It is so much that we are now having to adjust to a new normal. For architecture and design, it is vital that project teams adapt to meet the needs of clients as they continue to explore new ways to design and make buildings. Although this process is already placed, the acceleration towards the digitally enabled team of the future that we thought would take years is now underway. So these are some of the impacts that COVID-19 um, does on the construction markets. So according to Atkins, as the number of global cases of COVID-19 increases, its impact on the construction industry is anticipated to evolve over the coming months. Based on observed events in China and Europe, the US construction industry is predicted to experience similar difficulties with material supply chains distribution, labor shortages, and the citywide shutdowns of construction sites. So the question now is, how can we adapt to this new normal? So COVID-19 has dramatically changed the landscape of so many industries, including construction, of course. So while so many anticipate a return to normal, some things will not go back to the way they were. For now, construction companies will need to adapt to a new normal with some of these practices. Okay. So one is cloud collaboration and data storage. So as COVID-19 disrupted day-to-day office operations across the country, those that were already using the cloud collaboration and data storage adapted quickly to these circumstances outside of their control. So the importance of cloud data storage cannot be stressed enough. So teams cannot rely on their physical location as a way of obtaining critical data, and information needed to keep business operations in motion cannot be tied to one place. So the forced digital transformation of construction that coincided with this pandemic brought to light the need for a larger industry-wide innovation. So as construction adjusts to a new standard model of business operations, teams will need the ability to access, edit, and collaborate on project documents and company data in real time, regardless of their location. So another one is by virtual project coordination and monitoring. So with mandatory site shutdowns have been made, virtual site tours and monitoring extremely valuable. So with so many variables threatening progress, trade teams cannot afford to waste time on site. So technologies like 3D scanning, video monitoring, and even virtual walkthroughs can help teams plan ahead and prevent time draining clashes. So in these times or in this new era where month-long shutdowns are possible, trade teams need these capabilities to make their time on site count. Right? So this to ensure that there are no or the we can minimize those errors in the construction site. Next is remote meetings. So after the stay-at-home orders went in place, video chat software, almost every one of us use these softwares. Okay. So Microsoft Teams hit a new record of 2.7 billion total meeting minutes in a single day. And Zoom added more users than versus 2019. And Facebook also launched a new video conferencing tool. So these are some of the common tools that we are using via remote meetings. Okay, construction firms that were operating on a face-to-face meeting basis began to use these services for the first time. So while no one enjoys seeing their face on a screen, having remote meeting capabilities will need to be a part of every construction teams amidst of the COVID-19 pandemic. So as sites reopen and operations begin again, social distancing guidelines will likely to persist. So while construction teams try their best, keeping within social distancing guidelines, it is not always as feasible as some aspects of a job may require, for example, tradesmen to work closer together. A recent COVID-19 study by the University of Texas found out that mandating the use of personal safety equipment, it can reduce the amount of infection by 67%. In a separate study featured in the New England Journal of Medicine, shows that a simple cotton cloth can reduce the of infectious particles by 99%. So this is why wearing PPE is especially important for construction teams. So face masks are an additional safety precaution that protects people from spreading COVID-19. So our government also mandated the use of face masks with the face shields. This is, as they say, it is to reduce almost 90% of COVID-19 transmission. Okay. So while the world continues to deal with the repercussions of this pandemic, changes will need to be made across every industry. Construction should not expect things to go back to the way they were, but operations will need to be innovated to move forward. So for the designers and um, also for architects, these are the tools that we can use in our designs. So Autodesk AEC Collection is a set of BIM tools that can help you plan and design buildings and infrastructure. AEC Collection encompasses or it includes all of these softwares. So whether you are in the building industry or in infrastructure industry, you can use the softwares in the AEC Collection. So together with Autodesk BIM 360, you can collaborate your designs through the use of or through the power of cloud. So let me start with the Formit Pro. So the BIM process starts at the earliest stages of design. So sorry for that. I got lost. Okay, so um, let me repeat that. So with the BIM process starts at the earliest stages of the design and carries similarities through the further stages of development. It can also avoid the need of remodeling. So you can sketch in 3D, collaborate on concepts as a team, analyze the potential building performance, and iterate on designs fluidly. And you can also capture your design ideas whenever and wherever by the use of the mobile application for iPad and Android. So BIM-based conceptual design starts with or in Autodesk Formit Pro. The use of Formit is to develop early concepts, massing. You can also conduct energy studies and conduct conceptual design reviews with the team or with clients. So once you are ready to take your design further, you can seamlessly transition your format data into Revit via the cloud. So here is a sample video of that workflow. Okay. So here it has also a dynamo scripts where you can automate your designs, and you can also create those building shapes easily in Formic Pro. And you can easily create those energy studies via the insight. You can also create the sun and shadow studies, the solar studies, and also a fast rendering presentations within Formit. So this is the transition from Formit to Revit. So in Revit, one of the tools that you can also use is the generative design. Okay. So in generative design, you can directly use it in Revit to quickly generate and evaluate high-performing design alternatives based on your goals, constraints, and inputs. Generative design provides a set of sample studies types to demonstrate how this tool can be used to generate outcomes for design challenges. You can easily run one of the predefined studies or recipes with generative design in Revit. So such as workspace layout to comply with physical distancing, especially in these times of pandemic. The first of this is the grid object placement study, which places elements in a rectangular grid pattern inside the room. In this study, you can configure a few variables, such as distance between objects in the x and y directions and the minimum distance from objects to walls. You can also specify your design goals, such as the minimum or maximum number of elements to be placed. So next is the randomized object placement study. It enables you to create a random cluster of elements inside a selected room. So in this example, you can make it a random placement of tables, but are within your set of parameters. Finally, the step grid object placement study. It is a variation of the grid object placement study that can be used to place elements in a step or alternating grid pattern within a room. So with this generative design, you can also redesign your office layout for it to comply with the physical distancing standards. For your BIM 360 or your CTE, your common data platform, cloud-based collaboration tools are enabling design teams to work in new ways on BIM projects. So by centralizing project data in the cloud, architecture firms can accelerate design delivery by enabling teams in multiple offices. So even on different continents, you can concurrently work on shared models. So in addition, this technology makes it easier for architecture firms or design firms to work fluidly on joint venture and IPD projects. So Autodesk solution for cloud-based design collaboration is referred to as the BIM 360. So again, it encompasses several cloud collaboration toolsets. You can co-author your models. You can create design reviews, create markups, and it has mobile accessibility or mobile platforms. So here is a breakdown of various workflow that happen within BIM 360. So you can see here that across all of these workflows is the underlying collection of project data that can help you give better analytics and insights. So in addition with BIM 360, it is built using the Forge within Forge platform, which allows for an open API and integrations with other construction software solutions so that all of our project information can be centralized. Here is a project homepage in BIM 360 Design. It displays the current relevant data for the 210 King Street renovation. So there are several modules within BIM 360 Design that greatly enhance collaboration such as document management. It enables you to organize your data in your custom folder, structure for architects, engineers, consultants, and more. So you can also easily review files and models in the cloud through the BIM 360 Design web interface. So during the virtual inspection, issues can be noted in the cloud model and shared with the team for review. You can simply enter an issue description, then assign the issue, choose a date, and create your issue. You can see this issue is now submitted. And once created from the document management module, issues may be tracked and responded to with ease that is highly connected with your data process. Okay, this is an example of an official response created and logged through the BIM 360. Okay, it is also possible to compare versions of the model during 3D navigation as the model changes states throughout the design process. Changes are listed for review, and it is possible to then close the loop on the issue process with a model review. So this is one of example of the power of BIM 360 Design for your collaborative workflows relative to issue tracking. Collaboration for Civil 3D is also available in 2020.2 version. Okay, so you can centralize your data through the cloud by the BIM 360 Design. It is enabled in the start page of the software. From the recently opened list, you will see if the file is saved locally or in the cloud. Once you click the BIM 360 button, it enables you to access the files or documents saved in the BIM 360 platform. You can also select which project you want to view. It is important in this workflow to use the Autodesk desktop connector to link the data shortcut references in collaborating your designs. So here is some of the modules in BIM 360 platform. So here in BIM 360 Coordinate, you can perform clash detection or also trade coordination with other disciplines. Okay, so it's a simple pull out from the BIM 360 document management. You can pull out those files, and then you can create your molder coordination space. So from there, it creates automatically the clashes from each models that you have. And then from there, you can audit if this is a valid clash. Or during those auditing, you can perform issue tracking or issue management with those clashes. Another feature that we can use during these times is the meeting minutes. Okay, so you can also centralize and accessible access meeting records here in BIM 360. You can track or you can create agendas. You can track the attendance of those who participated in the meeting. And you can also perform document decisions. You can attach some files, and you can also assign individuals to those action items. And afterwards, if you want to review those minutes, you can also export this as a report to a PDF format. Okay. So in quality management, you can also perform or you can also create a checklist for reporting or for inspections. Okay. So here is a, a new checklist being generated from the BIM 360. Okay. You can assign some location in there, and you can also assign it to a person who is going to do the QA or the QC checklist. So while they are in the site, they can now perform those QA QC through their mobile devices. So if they they've seen some of the issues at the site, you can also perform photo capture within your mobile devices. Okay, so let me okay, so let me show you here one of the capabilities that we can do also in our checklist. Okay. So here, in these times of uh, COVID-19 pandemic, you can also utilize the checklist here for our job visitors. Okay. So it is a good tool to use for um, our contact tracing. You can create this checklist. You can assign it to a person who is going to answer this checklist. For example, here I can assign some of my colleagues, and you can also schedule um, this checklist on when he can answer this checklist. Okay. So after assigning that, you can now. So one of the key features here is you can also have these COVID-19 health questions, just like in our IATF forms that have been released by the government. Okay. So with this, it is in a digital format, so there's no need to fill in those paperworks. And the contact tracing here is much better because all of the data are coming in or in a centralized manner. Okay, so those are the tools that we can utilize during this pandemic. Okay, so here at CIM, we've um, let me say rebundled or to for us or for you to fully utilize the AEC collection together with our services. So Access Plus is it gives you access to the AEC collection plus our value added services. Okay. So one of the value added services that you can get is from the CAD or BIM services that we have. Okay. So one of the examples here is the BIM modeling. So whether you are transitioning from CAD-based design or you need manpower in starting BIM in your company, you can have an access to our talent pool to help you establish BIM. So whether it is in a different trades like in structural, MEPF, or in architectural BIM modeling services, we can help you achieve BIM. Okay. So another thing is we can also help you in establishing those templates to for you to standardize in other projects as well. Okay. Example of these are for your tags and annotations that are needed in your projects. Another thing is the content creation. So one of the tedious part of creating a BIM model is to standardize or to create those contents or libraries. Okay. So whether how much detail that you want to have in your contents or in your libraries, we can also help you in establishing um, these libraries. In terms of design collaboration, we can also help you in establishing your common data environment by using the Autodesk BIM 360. You can also perform clash detection to reduce the project errors before or prior with the project construction. You can also do quantity takeoff based from your BIM model. The design visualization, um, whether it is in still images or if you want a VR experience or VR walkthrough experience of your model, we can also help you in achieving those outputs. We can also help you validate your BIM models to ensure that these are in line with the project standards that you have set before the project. So Access Plus is it's a combination of the AEC collection plus with these services, whether it is a technical support, an online training, or a classroom training. Maybe you want an Autodesk certification for certain softwares. We can also um, help you with that. So with CIM Access Plus, we are continuing um, on our features with the Access Plus. So with CIM Access Plus, you can now have the Access Plus portal, wherein you can have the help desk dashboard. Um, you can also see your subscription from your AEC collection, and also an overview of the dashboard that you have in your subscription. Okay, so for subscription dashboard, you can view all of the licenses that you have with regards to the CIM. Okay, for help desk, you can also submit and track support tickets. For example, you want support for troubleshooting your softwares, you can submit um, a support ticket, and we will help you or we can support you in your um, in your queries. So for the dashboard is an example of what you can see, or you can also track those updates or the tickets that you have submitted before. Okay. So that's it for the CIM Access Plus. So before I open the floor with Q&A, I would like to share to you a video in which how pandemic affects the AEC collection, AEC industry, sorry. Construction is the world's largest economic ecosystem, but it lags its peers in productivity. With up to 45% of incumbent value added expected to shift along the entire value chain and $265 billion new profit pools at stake annually, rapid reimagination of business and operating models is key. Industrialization and consolidation will lead to more investment. Integration will see some players seize control of the value chain. Advanced materials will enable new approaches, and longer haul logistics and digital technologies will empower both innovative incumbents and new entrants. Currently, projects are customized to unique specifications. Design is fragmented and localized, and logistics are complex. On-site work is mostly performed by generalist contractors in challenging environments. Specification changes and rework can result in significant delays. The outcome? Projects that are long and costly. But for organizations that act now, there is an opportunity to reap large rewards. The transformation has begun and is being accelerated by COVID-19. As we move into the next normal, 9 key industry shifts will create a more standardized, integrated process. Developers and owners could move towards offering repeatable, branded products and solutions. Digital integration could allow specifiers to choose entire designs or a suite of components early in the process, kickstarting value chain disruption. Analytics tools will balance cost and performance. Manufacturing could become more automated and efficient, consolidated to fewer, larger players manufacturing specialized modules. Logistics may increase in importance, with online channels and digital supply chain management ensuring just-in-time delivery and on-site machinery automating and optimizing lean assembly. Finished buildings can be enhanced with the Internet of Things, improving usability and sustainability, and providing data to improve future designs. To defend and capture the value and profit tools at stake, all players in the ecosystem can take the opportunity to transform their business models and operations. The time is now. Investors can generate alpha from foresight. Policymakers can accelerate the transformation to enable better and more affordable infrastructure and housing. Learn more at mckinsey.com/next normal construction. So that's from the McKinsey and Company. So that's the end of my slide. So I am now opening the floor for with Q&A. All right. So if you have questions, you can type it in the chat box. I think we have one question here. If we buy software, does it have trainings included? For the software, uh, it depends on the sales representative. Okay, so we can also bundle trainings with the software. Okay. Is there other questions?
Sir Kevin, while waiting for the other questions from the participants, I have a question here as well. So you've mentioned a while ago the benefits of using BIM collaboration and the AEC collection. Can you also share with us what would be the challenges that a user or a company may encounter in adopting these tools in the new normal?
One of the challenges that we might encounter is um, one is some of the people um, within the organization are hesitant with the changes. But with the COVID 19 pandemic, it is like we are forced to adapt with these tools so that we can accelerate what we call the work the work that we are doing before. Okay, so I think answered your question. Okay,
Yeah, thank you
so
for that,
I
Sir
see some.
Kevin.
Thank you. So I see the question here. Um, some platform can it be run yung software? Um, I think with regards to BIM 360, you are only using your web browser plus your internet connection. Okay. Um, it has also a mobile application for iOS and Android, so that when you are doing site visits, you can download the plans or maybe the 3D models in in your site visits. So for Windows version, um, it only for web browser only for Vim 360. Okay, that's it all needs. Um, it runs with Google Chrome. Uh, it also runs with um, Mozilla Firefox. Um, with other browsers, I haven't tested it yet, but based from their website, it runs smoothly with other browsers as well. Okay, so I think that's all for the questions. MJ?
Thank you, Engineer Kevin, for your insightful topic, as well as for introducing us to the CIM Access Plus. And thank you to all who raised your questions a while ago. So let me share my screen. Okay, so we before we end this session, we would like to know your thoughts as well as to know how can we of service to you. So I'll be sharing with you our survey questions on screen. So please answer these questions for us to know your feedback. Okay, so we will be issuing a digital certificate to those who participants who will also answering these survey questions. We appreciate if you answer these survey questions with honesty so that we can help you in terms of your requirements or further concerns regarding of learning this tool. So our first survey question is about what products are you currently using? Next is what software are you interested in? Is it Autodesk AEC Collection or Autodesk BIM 360? Third is what are the tools inside the Autodesk AEC Collection might be useful to you? You may check all that applies. Fourth question is when would you probably be recommending or making a software investment for this tool? Is it less than 1 month, 1 to 3 months, 4 to 6 months, more than 6 months, or no investment plan at all? So please expect a call from us after this webinar as we will be asking some questions to furthermore assist you with your requirements. Okay, the fifth question is what is the status of your project funding? Is it available now, budgeted for future, or not budgeted at all, but can be considered? Okay, for the next question, are you interested to enroll for an online training to learn Autodesk software? Okay, yes, no, or no interest at all. So we could, through this question, we could be able to refer you to the Stanford IT Learning, which is our training division. Next question is, how satisfied were you with the webinar? Next is, how relevant is the topic to you? So if you want to learn other topics that, or if you want to suggest other topics, you may chat it in the chat box so that we could also review it and consider in the future webinars. Next is, how do you rate the speaker? Lastly, how satisfied were you with the session content? All right, so we're done. Thank you for participating in our survey. Okay, so on the screen are our upcoming webinars. So please invite your managers or supervisors to join our next webinars, which will be the first one, which will be on September 25 for the executive webinar episode 2 on sustainability series entitled Amplifying Your Business Continuity, Best Practices in BIM to Consider in the New Normal. And we are also inviting you to join the webinar, What's New in AutoCAD 2021 on September 29. So you may check out our upcoming events through the link above and register to your desired webinars. So once again, thank you and we look forward to seeing you online to our next webinar sessions. Have a good afternoon, everyone.